As shearers sharpen their blades for the summer shear, we thought we'd bring you a taste of what it was like when sheep were much more numerous in New Zealand. Back in 1972, there were 60 million sheep and wool was big business. It's a different picture now. Today, the national flock is just over a third of that, about 23 million, and wool prices have only recently strengthened to be able to cover the cost of shearing. In this story from the archives, producer Jack Perkins joined a Wairarapa shearing gang on a farm about 30 kilometres northeast of Masterton. It is 1972, don't forget. Some things have changed, and some haven't.
There's a dozen or so people inside, 4 shearers to start off with. 3 of them are Maoris, not big men but compact and well-muscled. The 4th member is a European and middle-aged, a typical Kiwi type. There's a couple of girls behind the shearers, sweeping the board clean. Another collects the fleeces. 2 more are skirting at the table. There's the wool classer, and the 2 men on the press. One's an Aussie, the other a young university student. They periodically swing themselves up on the frame and tramp the fleeces down, like peasants on a wine press. The boss is outside, of course. A good boss leaves the running of the shed to the gang. But with us is Dave McPherson, a well-known Wairarapa authority on the wool industry.
Well, as soon as the bell goes, the main function of everybody is to get working like buggery, because the harder you work, the better the financial return for you and the farmer. And the shearers, they rush in and grab the first sheep and they start to shear. But the girls are busy with the broom. You've got, in a 4-stand gang, you've got 1 girl on the broom or 2 girls on the broom, depending on how fast they're going, and another one picking up, another girl picking up. So the girls with the brooms keeping all the shortcuts, the seconds and all the inferior wool out of the main fleece. And this is, if they don't do this, this can downgrade your price at the end. But they keep the floor clean, and the other girls to rush up and pick up the fleeces, start picking it up on the back, 2 back legs and folding it over the rest of the fleece so that when they get to the table they can throw it and it'll land out evenly, so that the 2 girls on the table can skirt all the inferior wool off it. That is, anything that detracts from the general appearance of it and the value, they skirt off. They take the neck, which is full of seed, and the pieces that are heavy conditioned and full of mud, or have to be, in this case, dust that they've picked up on the muster coming in. Then it is looked at by the classer. He puts it into the various grades that he's made, and then the 2 presses press it up, press it into their like types, and so the bale's up. Also, one of the presses has to double up as the sheepo, and that's the bloke who fills up the catching pens, so the shearers are never short of sheep, because the shearers are getting paid per animal.
If you're used to office hours, you can forget all about shearing as a job.
It's a 9-hour day cut up into 5 runs. The first one before breakfast is from 5 till 7, and the second one is from 8 till 10, which is an hour and 3/4. Then from 10:15 to 12 o'clock, which is another hour and 3/4. From 1:15 to 3, and 3:15 to 5 o'clock. And that's known as the longest run of the day. Although it's only an hour and 3/4, it's the last one and you're starting to get a wee bit tired.
Which is understandable enough when you see a good shearer in action. Charlie Peppery, as head shearer, is boss of the gang. He's responsible to the contractor and to the farmer for the quality of the work and the conduct of the gang. His movements are smooth and coordinated, like a good golfer's. But he's using more energy than a golfer would in a month of Sundays. The sweat streams down his face. Here's a description of his form from Dave McPherson.
Now here he goes, he's pulled off the handpiece and the machine, he's walking in and he's wiping his eyes and into the pen, and he's looked around and he's picked his best sheep out, because shearers are noted for this, to pick the best sheep out and leave the last in the run, because the pens don't get filled up again until they have actually emptied it. So you leave the worst ones to the end. Now he's dragged it across the board, and that's a 150-pound sheep, and he's turned his motor on and he's starting off at the brisket, and he'll work down the brisket on the left-hand side. He tears it open with his hand, and he'll work down so that all that, and take a fairly big belly off, so that he's not leaving anything on anything on the fleece itself. Now he's worked down the outside of the right leg and come back up through the crutch, and he's going down now the left leg on the outside, having taken off the socks. These are the little ones at the part on the feet, and he's gone up over the tail. Now that's, if you can visualise a leg of mutton, he's gone right up to the top where the tailbone is. Now he's come from the brisket straight up the neck, round one ear. He's turned the sheep's head as he brought it up, so he's holding onto the ear, and he's gone round the ear and over the top and taken the top knot off. And one ear has still covered with wool, but he's worked down the left-hand shoulder, taking off all the wool there, and now he's starting on the long blow. He's just putting in a few short ones to clear the belly. Now this long blow is right from the tail to the top of the head, and in big sheep this can be a distance of 7 feet. And he's got down now, he's done the long blow, he's done 3 quick blows up the top, and he cleared the other ear, and working down the brisket to the right foreleg, and he'll come up and he'll clear the foreleg of all the short socks that are on it, and swing around under the armpit, and now he runs down the flank of the sheep, running out onto the right hand leg, and he's now laying it over. Now this is coming down the leg of mutton from the tail down to the leg, and when he comes the last blow, the sheep will be actually going out the porthole now. He's done it, there you are, he's done it in 1:48. This will give him something around about must give him about 300 a day, 300 plus.
The main thing we're looking for in the shed at the moment, we've got a very nice line of wool, is the any dirty fleeces we're taking out completely, and we're making this into 3 lines, a fine, a medium and a coarse.
And here's that most important man, the wool classer.
We're making sure it's very well skirted, and the fleeces that are dirty, we're throwing them on the table, making sure that there's no dag or stain involved or brand, and then just rolling them up and making another line of just straight crossbred. The girls you can see skirting in front of us at the moment, they're taking off all the pieces, any dag, and the neck off the fleece, and it's up to me as the classer to make sure that this job is done to the satisfaction of myself and also of the farmer.
The head rousey, short for rouseabout, is Marlene Beadle. She's been on the job for 3 years.
The girls always change on the air. They have a break on the air, they change over. There's 3 things that they do, like there's the sweeping, picking up, and then they go on the table. And by the time they've picked up, they only do it for an hour. Some sheds work for a full run, but we like to change over on the air. It's easier on the girls.
How many days a week do you do this?
We just keep working 7 days a week, unless we get any wet days or anything like that. We just have a day off, time off.
And what are your hours of work a day?
9 hours.
You must be pretty dead at night. There must be virtually no social life. You're isolated out here in the country. Don't you find this pretty tough?
I think it's a bit like shearers. You get tired sometimes, but I think you start to get used to it after a while. And we always find that if we go out now and again, we always feel better if we've gone and got away from things, and go out for a night, perhaps once a week or something. We quite often go.
What's your ambition in doing this? Can you imagine yourself keeping on doing this for another 3 years?
No, I'm only doing it just for the money.
What does this bring you in the way of money?
Well, we get $1.57 an hour. Around $1.57. So that's quite good money for females. For girls, it's pretty good. Most jobs you get in town, just the ordinary jobs, you can only earn about $25 to $30 a week, whereas here, if you go straight through, we're earning over $10 a day, at least $12 a day we're earning. So, it's quite a big difference, really.
I heard the same story from one of the other rousies, a young Maori lass. She'd left an office job to join the gang.
It's casual, You can talk whenever you like and play. Can't do that in an office.
Do you make many friends in the shearing shed?
Yeah, all Australian girls and a few American shearers come out too. They're all good too.
Ron Fox is studying geology at Otago University, which doesn't mean a thing as far as the gang is concerned. He's just the presser. There's an electrically operated press in this shed. It's no faster than the hand type, but it does make the work a bit easier.
When the shearers have shorn the sheep, the girls throw it on the table. It's skirted, classed by the wool classer, and then it's put in these bins behind us and around us. From there, we take each different type of wool out, each one class for one bale, and put it in the two parts of the press. We jump the wool, compress it as much as we can.
You jump on it physically, do you?
Yeah, to press it down. Otherwise, it's so springy, so bulky, we'd only have half the weight that we should have. From there, we when we've got it pressed heavy enough by ourselves, we'll put the two boxes together, press it with the machine, sew it, so the cap and the bottom are together. We'll weigh it, brand it, so we get the actual name, number and type, stack them, and then later on a truck will come away and take them away, and that's our job, is just to get the wool into the bales and get it away. It's our part of the job.
The other half of the pressing team is Skip. He's an Aussie.
Well, I worked on a sheep and cattle station over home in Queensland, and I'm here on a working holiday, and I just enjoy the life in the gang. You get to see the country better. Working the gang, you're always moving around, and the two different seasons, you get from North Island to South Island back again all the time, all year round.
The ganger is overall boss of the shearing gang, and the classer has control of shed operations. But the guts of any shearing gang is seldom seen inside the shed, although everybody acknowledges the importance of her job. It's the cook. In this case, it's Charlie Peppery's wife, and she spends her entire day in the kitchen of the shearers' quarters. It's not long after lunch. The dishes are still in the sink. That's one of the next jobs. There's a big chocolate cake that's just come out of the oven, an electric range in this case, although the kitchen still retains an old wood-burning stove. There's a great slab of meat on the hearth, waiting to be cut up for the evening meal. It's mutton, of course. And there's a dried salted eel hanging up. It was caught in the local creek. Margaret Peppery's job starts early.
In most gangs, the ganger makes the early morning cup of tea, but some of them, it is really the cook's job. But if the gang is pretty decent, he usually makes that early morning cup of tea and gets the gang up about 4:30, gives them time to have their tea and to start at the shed dead on 5. I get up and check on the chops, wash up the cups and get the table all set up for breakfast, which is dead on 7 o'clock. That gives me plenty of time to fry up my vegetables, do my eggs, which they have fried eggs every morning. 1 egg each and normally 2 chops each, and fried up vegetables from leftovers from the day before. I usually cook extra so that I know I've got plenty left over.
How many are you catering for, by the way?
I think there's 14 with myself that I'm cooking for.
Any problems in cooking for this number?
Well, not really. It's quite a good amount to cook for. It's just the same as being at home. You've just got to cook a bit of extra. You've just got to be well organised and get ahead of yourself with the meals. If you just thought of them when the meal was due, well, you just wouldn't be able to cope with it.
Now, you get meat from the farmer?
Yes, every 1,000 sheep the shearers share, the farmers are supposed to supply a mutton for every 1,000 sheep. And that's cut up by the ganger. He gets it from the meat house on the property and cuts it up and puts it all in the safe, and the chops and 4/4 and the legs.
Let's have a menu for lunch and tea. Today, for instance.
Well, for lunch we had cold meat, which I had to cook yesterday, and lettuce salad, cheese and carrot grated on the lettuce, and the mayonnaise and boiled potatoes. And then for tea tonight, we usually have a roast, mashed carrots or pumpkin and 2 vegetables. And I've also got a pudding, which I had to make this morning so that I'll have my pots available for the vegetables tonight. They're finished in the sheds at 5 o'clock, and they usually stroll back and first thing they do is have their showers and baths. The shearers usually have their showers first. And I have the tea going, and they usually sit down to tea at night about 6:15. And by the time they've had tea, it's about 6:45, and my day hasn't finished till about 7:30 by the time I get my dishes done and get the table set for the next morning. I have to have milk mixed, which is powdered, and everything for their early morning cup of tea.
It's not until evening that a shearer really becomes a human being. During the day he's a superbly functioning machine, and even at the lunch break there's little conversation. If he's not checking over his gear, he's usually relaxing in the way experience has shown him his best, flat on his back on the board. But at night there's a welcome beer at the quarters, and the blessed relief of a hot shower. Shearers first, always. And after the meal at last, tongues loosen, and the gang relaxes for a brief hour or two.
Them lager bars, gee, really, about 15 cents for a 7 ounce.
Yeah, it's about 10 cents
robbery.
for 5. Yeah.
That's what was made beer darker, put a bit more caramel in it. Should darken up a little.
They put caramel in beer.
Of course they put plenty of malt extract too.
What makes a good shearer?
Well, a good shearer's got a ton of guts, a big heart. Plenty of go.
The money's good. It's handy when you're a varsity or something like this. It helps pay for a lot of the work. You meet a hell of a lot of really good people. The gang is really, you get around the country, come back the same old gang again. It's really a smooth place to be.
For the average person who wants to knock around and look around the country, I think it's about one of the best, and it's a good healthy life.
How do you get your training?
Well, they've got shearing schools going all the time. You generally start the last week of September, go right through till February. The juniors have a fortnight shearing school, and the seniors have a week.
What do you look upon yourself as? A craftsman, an artist? What?
Well, we like to think of ourselves as craftsmen in our job, professionals.
You take a pride in...
Yeah, we do. We do. Well, the boss comes along and has a look at the job and tells us if we're going too rough and clean the job up. Well, we do it. But we can't do it if conditions are not right.
You as the ganger, what kinds of problems or what kinds of things don't you like seeing in a shed? What gives you trouble?
Well, in the first place, most contractors and most gangers don't like to see a boss in the shed. It's better if they let the shearers up to it. Well, it's understandable if they're doing a rough job, they can come in. Come and see the man who is running the gang, if anything's going wrong. I can see their point of view too, because they're paying big money to get their sheep done, and they expect a good job.
It's a life that's on the move all the time.
It is.
Here one day, gone the next.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Any crunches here?
We've got to take it in our stride. Sometimes we lose. Well, we're on a good run actually. Our sheds are not far apart. We hardly lose any time. But when you've got to travel miles, you might do a run in one shed and you cut out in the morning at breakfast time. Then you spend the rest of the day travelling to the next shed.
It's okay from our point of view though, because we get to see more of the place. Yeah, I mean that's one reason why I'm here.
Oh no, but well, the main reason you're here, you're here to make money and see as much as you can.
Yeah, well, so losing that little bit of time doesn't really worry me that much.
Don't you break out and get away from it all occasionally?
Oh no, well we break out when it's too wet. Have
Pray
a day
for
off.
rain.
Well, there's the rousies in the presses.
If you have more than, say, 2 days off, we go to town for, say, 4 days through wet sheep. We spend the first day having a few beers and a good time, but after that...
You're dying to get back to the shed.
You're dying to get back to the shed. You rarely go to the pub. You don't drink at all, hardly.
That piece from the RNZ show Spectrum was first broadcast in 1972. It was presented by Jack Perkins with thanks to Ngā Taonga Sound Archives.